Hello, viewers. Welcome to today's episode of Ascension TV. My name is Emedike Mary Jane, and I'll be your host for today. Today, we'll be discussing another very interesting topic: the youth and the church. Before I go further, have you subscribed to this channel? Are you liking? Are you making comments? Are you also sharing? Thank you. Well, for today, the youth and the church. There are a lot of things affecting the youths and the church in the aspect of the youths going away from the church. Join me today while I talk more about it with my guests. Thank you. Hello, viewers. Welcome to today's episode of Ascension TV. With me today, I have...
my name is Moses Umunna.
Thank you, Mr. Moses. So today we'll be discussing a topic titled The Youth and the Church. Please, Mr. Moses, I would like to ask you, what exactly do you think, or what's your take on the youth of today and the church?
Thank you very much. I think I would like to start with the definition of the youth, really. Youth is defined by the age bracket that is between the childhood and adulthood. And when we look at the United Nations categorization of the youth age, so it is between 15 to 24. Those in the age bracket of 15 and 24, so they are categorized as the youth. So when we link this to the role of the youth in the church, there's this popular saying that says youth are the pillars of the church, the strength of the church. And youth have a lot of role to play in church because of their vibrancy, their vision, their energy. So that's why any church, so to say, that lacks youth, you often see such church with sooner they tend to crash. But the essence of the youth in the church, it brings out that vibrancy, the energy to reach out and all that.
Thank you. You said the youth are the pillars of the church. Like the popular saying, fathers are the pillars of the church. Are you saying, now, categorically, you're saying that father provides for the family and all that? Are you saying that the youth are meant to provide for the church? No, sorry, that's actually like a joke. So my question is, in what way do you think the church has affected the youth of today? Like, if you see, most of the youth of today don't like to go to church, but they prefer to go for one other thing or the other instead of going to church. In what way do you think the church has affected the youth of today?
Okay, thank you very much. One of the ways through which the church has affected the youth, I would like to categorize that into two aspects. One, which I say the positive part. If you see most churches now, they tend to engage the youth more in their activities, in the dealings of the church. You even see some churches that are trying to bring the youth into the, in quote, management of the church, the pastorate, the priesthood and all that of the church, just to bring out that vibrancy and that energy in them. But in other ways through which I think maybe the church has not influenced the youth or has not maybe encouraged the youth more, because most of especially the time that we are now, the time of social media and all that, you see most of some churches, you see the youth try to be they feel very comfortable staying at home and not going to church because they feel there's nothing that, let me use that word, gingers them to be part of the church anymore. Maybe some churches now that you see people like anything where how do I put it, they say this place is rocky and this is where I want to be, you understand? So if they see anywhere that is dry, they don't want to. So that's why the church need to bring in some things, like I've seen a church where a dance group is set up.
Like you're saying that the church is meant to bring in sort of like a social life in order to drag in the youths back to the church. Is that really what you're saying? Like social life, maybe once in a while we play, we play what's the modern kind of life of music for the youths in order to bring them to the church. Might know if that's what you're saying.
Well, not really. I don't mean we bring the worldly things into the church, but I mean there are some things now that even as a child of God, as Christians, and some things that make the church very lively. You understand? Even when Jesus was alive, he was social. If you check the scriptures, he attended a wedding at Cana of Galilee. So if Jesus was not social, he wouldn't do that. So you see Jesus in the midst of multitude teaching them, but he was relating. You understand? So I think that part is kind of missing, and it is until you bring that part back into the church to encourage the youth of nowadays. Youth want to be where it's happening. You understand? So like I was trying to say the other time, a dance group was created in a church. Somebody because of that gave his life to Jesus Christ, that he felt instead of going to the club to dance, why not bring that break dance in church? There are songs like the likes of Kirk Franklin and all that, so decide to use that as break dance, using that to worship God instead of going to the club.
Like everything about the church, in order to assist the youth, shouldn't be all about prayer gathering and all that. But Jesus Christ said we should pray and pray and pray. We should keep praying. So why do we need to bring something? Why do we need to introduce something just in order for us to get back our youth into the church?
Yes, well, I acknowledge that fact. Jesus said, well, men ought to pray and not to faint. You understand? So, but there's a way of balancing both parts. You can't, like when Jesus, you can look at the life of Jesus Christ when he was alive. There were times that Jesus had to be alone to pray. There were times he had to pray with the disciples, and there were times that he had to like the wedding I talked about that Jesus attended, though with his parents actually, but at the Cana of Galilee, Jesus was there. He socialized. At that point he wasn't praying. So there's time for everything, and until we balance this, I think we have not really done much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. So viewers, you have heard it all. Balancing the modern life of youth with the church in order for the church to get back the youths. I mean, praying is not a bad thing, but as well, while we pray, we worship. So you as a youth, you left the church, you hardly go to church, I'd advise you come back to Christ. There are a lot of things you can gain when you come back to the church, and I pray that the good Lord will assist every one of us. Thank you once again for watching today's episode of Ascension TV. Are you yet to subscribe to this channel? Please do so, and never forget to like, share and comment. Thank you very much, and God bless you once again. Bye bye.